Welcome to Spiritual Truths with your host, Kerry-Marie. Today, I'm delighted to have with me Jeffrey Clarkson. Jeffrey will be talking to you today about raising your vibration with his spiritual music that he has created and put together. His music is truly powerful, inspirational, and wonderful. If you like this podcast, please like it and subscribe. We welcome you to the Spiritual Truths family and thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us. Blessings and love, Kerry-Marie. Hi, Jeffrey. It is wonderful to connect with you again. It's been quite a while since I've seen you. I don't know how long, quite a few years.
It has, but I think we've seen each other briefly,
Yeah.
pictures of each other, and I think there's always a connection. So yeah,
Oh,
it's been a
definitely.
while.
And
Been a
it's
while
been
since we've been like this.
exactly. And you went to Australia for a while, didn't you, as well?
I did, yeah,
Yeah. And you
not
come
too
back
far away. Yeah,
not too far away. That's it. And also, I was aware of you because I was really into the whole spiritual community, and I used to go to the psychic fairs and the spiritual fairs, and I heard about this Jeffrey Clarkson, and you're often present, and your music was amazing and
thank you,
beautiful. And
thank
then,
you.
oh, it's gorgeous. It's just so tranquil.
Mm.
There's nothing else like it, to be honest. Nothing else like that out there, if I'm
Oh
really honest with
gosh,
you.
oh
Just get rid of something that's come up. And then I learned about you and where it came from, so we can go into that. You told me at the time you've got quite a story about it, about your childhood and things like that.
mm.
And then I went to Arthur Finney and I launched my own website. And you were very kind, and then I said, "Oh, can I have some music on my website?" So we had your music on my website. That was very kind of you. So that's a time we sort of collaborated in a way. So
Yeah,
it's really good to have you back again.
thank
So I'd
you.
just like to ask you that if you can just tell a little bit brief about, because you're a spiritual musician and you also have held meditation classes, because my own husband used to go to you regularly. So you can just tell me a little bit how did that come about? Because obviously you're a musician, first you got drawn to music and then became a spiritual musician. Where did that come from? The
Well, I
history.
used to say that, and I probably still say it at times, is that writing this music is one thing, but every music has a dance. And
Hmm.
meditation is the dance of meditation music. So
Hmm.
it's in fact a dance of stillness, as you would well assume. But yeah, that's where it came from basically, and so I felt like it was my duty to teach meditation because I wrote the music.
So have you always been a musician?
Pretty much, yeah, I have right from birth. Yes, as you said earlier, I did have a clairaudient experience early in my life, but what that did was I think it just set me up in music. It just made me believe in myself as a musician at a very young age.
So
And I had
can
the
you tell us about that, about your clairaudient experience?
Well, I was born in Dunedin, in
Mm-hmm.
the north of Dunedin, in a two-storied villa house called El Nido, right next to the botanical gardens. And even in my birth experience, I heard the gardens because there was a lot of noise, birds, trickling brook going right
Mm-hmm.
past, and the wind in the trees, etc. And then where we lived was just down the road in the same block. So as I grew a little older, 4 or 5, I used to make my way down there because I loved the sound of the place, and I'd play down there. I had a playground, and there were animals and all sorts of things there. So it was a beautiful place. And one day I just happened to be sitting on a bench seat, and I suddenly started to hear sound like music sound, and I kind of looked around and but there was nothing there. It was just coming out of the ether around me, and it was extraordinary music at the time. I didn't know it was extraordinary. I just thought, oh, nice, nice music, and I just took it for granted that happened. Didn't say much about it. I came from a big family, so everybody had their story to tell. But it kind of set me up. And then when I was around 10, 11, you're talking 1960, 61, then the rock and roll came out. And so I participated. I thought, oh, this is my big opportunity as a person who loves music. So
Mm,
into it I went. And I was
mm,
in rock and roll music for probably about 15 years or more and did very well. But in the end, it just wasn't that earlier experience I'd all but forgotten by the time I got to the end of my rock and roll career.
mm,
And I didn't like rock and roll as a lifestyle. So
mm,
I stopped. Big challenge. I stopped and learned to meditate. And
mm,
that opened a new door for me. And in the end, it opened a door to write meditation music. And that's what I've
mm.
been doing ever since for just over 40 years now.
Wow, amazing. I got really moved. I got so moved when you said that um, even when you at birth or before you were born, when you said about hearing the music even before you were born, I just knew that was really authentic and so
Mm,
true because I just get this feeling here in my heart, and it's like wow, it just feels really powerful, really strong and emotional.
mm,
And when I get that feeling, it really hit a chord, and I know it's real as well.
yeah,
And I felt that I said felt your mother earlier,
yeah,
and when you're talking about childhood, I felt your mother before we connected, and I felt
mm,
that's what I feel. She had her struggles, I feel, because I think it was such a huge
absolutely.
family. She had her
Yeah,
struggles, and I
yeah,
feel there's so many children to look after.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
she's a good mum, a really good mum, but I just
Of
said she
course.
managed and did her best, is what I felt.
Yeah.
And
Well, they
but
were hard times back then.
really difficult. She had her
She,
struggles,
well,
yeah.
she was born in the First World War, and the Second World War was right in her prime.
Right, yeah.
And so well as my father. So it was a difficult life for all people back then.
Yeah, I do, but I feel she's so proud of you. That's what I want to say. I just feel
Oh,
she
yeah,
just
yeah,
skited about you even when you were alive, and she does now. She's just, you said
yeah.
you're a good child. Okay. I'm sure you got up to your mischief though. Okay. So this is a really, so I remember at one of these, when I listened to you talk, which I found really fascinating. I just want to circle back to this because I feel nature is so powerful and so healing. And I remember you telling us about how you heard in nature the sound of music in nature.
Yeah. Well, that was the original experience.
That was the original experience,
Yeah, and it
and the
just
wind and the
once
trees
I
and
learned to meditate, I was able to go back there.
right,
Here was the situation when I left rock and roll music. I'd completely forgotten about that early life experience,
right, right,
and then when I learned to meditate, I felt something coming in.
right,
And
yeah,
must have taken about 3 to 6 months of meditation before
right.
I started to feel like I was in a time machine, and
Wow.
and I was going back there until I actually had the full experience in my meditation of being the child in the gardens, and that's where it all began really. And then after that, life was never the same because whenever I walked into nature, I'd always get reminded of that instance, and nature's like that for me. I think for a lot of people too, to be fair. There is a music playing in nature. It's not necessarily music you can hear. I was lucky, but a lot of people feel it. A lot of people feel that
Mm,
peace in nature. It's
I
like
do.
it's a default position in
Amazing.
the universe. It's
Isn't that
part,
incredible?
yeah.
Can I just ask you something a bit off? But you might know if you believe in this or not. But what do you feel that elementals are connected to that?
Elementals are
Yeah.
definitely connected to it. Yeah, very
Wow.
much so. Yeah,
Yeah. I saw fairies when I was at Lilydale. I actually saw
yeah,
them physically, and there was no
yeah.
doubt.
Yeah, well,
Incredible.
children do that, and I mean, I can't, I
Yeah.
don't recall telling my family of my experience.
Mm,
I was a little bit shy as a second boy child,
mm, mm.
and it was a bit overwhelming having so many coming into physical form and having so many in my family around me. But it was fun too. But I
Yeah.
think I was quite shy, and I didn't say a lot about what I felt and heard at that time. But it
Yeah.
it it gave me a start
Your
in
children
life.
don't, do they?
No,
Like,
I tend not. Well, I thought it was normal.
yeah, children
So
don't
yeah,
always talk about that sort of thing. I realized when I
well,
wrote my book, there's lots of things that I experienced that I never
yeah.
articulated.
Well, my kids, my own children, could talk about it, and I would
I
join
know.
in. I'd sit down with them, and we'd whatever story they
Be
wanted to
open.
tell me, I'd join in with it.
I think mine was because of a religious family. I don't know if yours was the same.
Not really, no,
No, but it
no.
was just that it just something I didn't talk about.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
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 okay. All right. So, I just feel something I realized that with healing, particularly with healing, I need music going when I'm doing healing on someone.
mm,
And some people meditate silently. It doesn't work for me. I've got to either be in nature, about nature around me, or listening to the music. And I also find
yeah,
with that when I'm doing this lovely healing, is that it's so healing. The sound of that music is so healing for our souls and our being. Do you agree with that? I think it's so healing.
yeah. It is.
Yeah.
In many ways, it's the music of silence. I know that's a contradiction in terms, but it puts us into silence. It puts us into a space around us we're not used to. And that's I've always maintained that about this type of music. And nobody, I mean, my music went far and wide. It went into National Women's Hospital. You know, babies were born to my music. I
Aw.
have, plus 30-year-olds coming to me and say, "Oh, I was born to your music." And, oh,
Mm,
yeah, okay.
mm.
But the thing is that that space is really an important space for people because it just automatically takes them inside themselves.
It's interesting
Uh,
about music of silence because I did yin yoga yesterday. I went to
mm,
Northern Arena and did yin yoga, and it was really gentle and very
yep,
quiet. And
yep,
yeah, and it's like got that stillness and that it is
yeah,
music of silence like that
yeah,
because it silences down that left brain.
yep.
It silences down that logical brain, doesn't it?
Mm. Well,
Yeah,
there's two ways of looking at it, and as you said earlier, people come from either their logic or their creative brain, and probably most people a mix of the two. But
yeah.
the
But
logic brain
but
tends
we
to
all
want
have
to,
we have that little voice, don't we? The inner voice, that
yeah,
chatterbox, and it
yeah,
can be quite like, what am I going to do for dinner? And
yeah,
what about the bank? And about the
yeah,
money or my children? And you just when you sort of go silent, sometimes that busyness goes down. And I find that
mm,
the breathing and also the beautiful music actually just helps you become still
yep.
and present.
And then you go, oh, well, we'll deal with dinner later. We'll deal
Yeah,
with
and
cleaning up later.
relax, and you can
Yeah,
relax.
yeah, yeah. And that's a
Yeah,
good place to be. It's a
it's really
very
good.
healing space,
Yeah, yeah.
especially today where everybody's so busy doing their life.
Oh,
And
yeah.
life's about doing, and it's not really about doing it at all, as you know. It's about being.
Well, we're
Um,
human beings, not doings. Not human
yeah,
doings, we're human beings.
that's the one.
Yeah. So one thing I was really fascinated with is your beautiful machine.
Yeah,
That
the
beautiful instrument. Sorry, can you show it?
yeah, I can.
Amazing.
This is the
Jeffrey, look
guitar.
at this, John. I mean, John, Andre. I often call my son John, my
This is the
husband's name. Have a look
guitar.
at this. So this is an instrument.
Yep. In itself. I'll put it back. It doesn't play a sound in itself. There's another sound source that keyboard plays. But the good thing about that little keyboard was created many years ago. In fact, it was built in 1986,
Hmm.
and it's very sensitive to touch in
Right.
both hands. So basically, I'm blowing into a small mouthpiece,
Mm.
and I'm playing the keys with my right hand, and I'm modulating the sound with my left hand all at once. And
Yeah, it's amazing,
I'm
Andre.
only ever playing melody. I'm not playing two-handed piano. It's
No.
always just a melody. And the type of synthesis that I use is an organic,
Mm.
real sound. So when I blow, it actually sounds like it's being blown.
Yeah. So how
So
did you
yeah,
manage to invent that? That's incredible in itself that you
I
can.
didn't. This is called synchronicity.
Oh, I see.
And yeah, so when I crossed to this style of music, there were synthesizers available, but I didn't know about that little one. That was 1986. So
Right.
I crossed over to this music in 1985.
Right. Okay.
So hadn't been manufactured. In fact, I didn't get it. I didn't have one of those until 1990
Oh, I
because
see.
they didn't come out
Oh, I
here.
thought you built it. I sorry. I
No,
got that.
no,
No.
it's a factory model. I've adjusted some parts to suit
Oh,
myself,
okay.
and everything about the sound system that creates the sound is modified for me, and I did that.
Ah, well, it
So it
is
is, yeah,
absolutely incredible. Yeah, it
yeah.
is. I would say
Well,
that
yeah.
yours is definitely the best. And so, why is it also? Why does music like it's a meditation, but does it? Would you believe it's healing? I want to go back to the healing.
Yeah, well, it not only is it used for meditation music, people use it in their workspace, in their creative space, in their cooking space, in their wherever space, and I think the people that resonate to that music, and there are quite a few, and it's continuing. They tend to just use it in the back because it keeps a part of them calm. Probably, as you say, the little monkey brain that's going on, going blah, 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 blah,
Mm,
while you're making your bed or while you're having a shower, and it just settles that.
mm.
And so it's been used as a background music. And a lot of people say, oh, background music, what's that? Elevator music, I think it was once referred to. But elevator music has effect on people in the elevator too. But if it's boom, 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 what's that doing to a person,
So I'm going to ask a different question now. So would you agree that music can affect your vibration?
Absolutely, yeah. It does, your vibration is still under your control. The music
Right.
affects your vibration in that it soothes, it's calming. So your vibration begins to calm because you're listening to the music. But after a while, you take over from that, and you be
Okay.
in that space, and you do and think things that are resonant, or what was the word? Yeah, resonate to
So
being
you
calm.
align with it? You mean you align with
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I know it can change the vibration in a room, like
Yeah.
in my personal development years after I left rock and roll and I had to deal with a lot of life issues around, being open to
Mm,
people, not being so caught up in my own life, but being
mm,
there for others. We used to talk about how music can affect a space, not just the person in the space, but the
mm.
space itself. So if you walk into a room where somebody's been arguing, you'll
Mm.
feel that. If you're a sensitive
Yes.
person, you'll feel
Yes.
that. You won't know, you might not know what it is, but it won't feel nice. If you
Yes.
play this music in that room, it'll soothe the vibrations. Because
Amazing.
when people argue and have that type of interaction, it disturbs all the molecules
Mm.
and they become and it becomes agitative.
That's why
Um,
when you walk into a house, I mean, it's called psychic energy. So if I
yeah,
walk into a house or anything, I can feel it. I can tell a story about every room I go into.
yeah,
It's the same thing.
yeah.
And that's why the music is very clearing and healing. That's why maybe churches have a beautiful vibration about them.
I do, yeah. And because when people go there,
Yeah.
they're being peaceful, they're being
Yeah.
quiet. Libraries do too.
Yeah, they do actually. So another
Yeah,
interesting thing I've noticed, and I've noticed particularly if I've been to a band or even at the Arthur Corridor, that the last night was dancing and music, these beautiful orbs that appear.
yeah.
So it's almost like it's the spirit world, like the vibration, and it's like because their vibration's higher than ours, and it's almost this music lifts the vibration, and the spirit connects. I've often seen orbs when there's music around.
Well, I think the music also helps people to find themselves, and the finding of the self is connecting with their own non-physical, their own spiritual sense and self. And I think that's the big change we're seeing in the world at the moment, is away from congregative religion and into I have my own connection with source. And
It's
I do
the
that all
absolute
the time. I don't have to go
yes,
to a building to celebrate that. I do it right now. I do it whenever. And music helps to be in that space.
yeah,
This
it
type
certainly
of music
does.
helps me, and that helps people. It
Yeah,
helps
it
people
certainly
with their
does.
lives. They become their own doctor. They become their own self healer. They
Yeah,
learn about that just from practicing and including meditation in their lives.
meditation is nice. So, going circling back to the music for a minute. We'll come to the meditation soon. What about? I found loud um, music really difficult. My husband likes it, and I respect that. But I've got to point now what happens is it's really loud. And I had to talk to someone about this, and I go with an open heart, and at the next day I feel destroyed.
Mm,
He doesn't, but for me, and she said that because he sort of has to wear a suit of armor, for he's a businessman, and he feels a vibration that breaks down that armor, and so it makes him vitalized. For me, because I have to be quite sensitive with the work that I'm doing, it just actually breaks me, and I just
mm,
feel exhausted the next day. It's just
yeah,
like I can't deal with it.
yeah.
It's not
True,
personal.
true. Yeah, it's the same the world over. I live in the country now as a matter of choice because it's peaceful
Yeah,
out here. So I
yeah,
can guarantee a peaceful space, but I still have people around me who are in strange spaces who have problems in their life and not wanting to resolve them, wanting to hang on to them.
yeah.
And that's a difficult energy.
Yeah, so
And
but I just interesting how we're all different. Like he gets
yeah,
invigorated by the loud music, and I
yeah.
can't deal with it.
Yeah, I love loud music, but I think if you go back to the 60s or
Yeah,
50s and 60s when loud music came on, I think a lot of people found it to be too loud, particularly in the live performance of it. You
right,
can
okay.
turn the radio up or down, and older people tend to turn it down. This is back
Hmm.
then, and listen to She Loves You, Yeah, Yeah, quietly. But others had to turn it up, and
Yeah,
what were they
exactly. I'm
doing?
talking like the heavy metal and the rock.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
personally, but you know what? I'm not going to diss anybody that's into that because that's
No,
their thing,
yeah, yeah,
and
and, and I'm
that's
the
what
same.
resonates with them. Pardon?
And I'm the same. Yeah, you can't use it. All you can do is really create your own space.
And realize that it's
And
difficult. And this lady
yeah,
helped me with it. And she said, well, this
yeah,
helps him because it
yeah,
breaks down his arm and he feels and it helps
mm,
his vibration. For
yeah,
me, and maybe the drumming, the beating, it's that
mm,
whole, that's almost like meditative, the beating
yeah,
of the drums. But for me, it's too much because I'm too sensitive. I'm too
yeah,
porous.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so now I sort of say, actually, you go, really enjoy it, get into it, and I'll just do something to it. I tried
Yeah,
really hard. Oh goodness, Andre. I'm sorry that this has come down. Is it all right?
yeah.
It should be fine. Sorry,
Oh,
the
look,
mic
I
just fell
think
down.
I think a lot of people in their working life get a lot of beaty music, and and there's a belief that it drives you. That if it
Oh,
wasn't there,
okay.
if it particularly tradies, they use it, and the belief is that this helps me to get on with my day. But
Right, I
actually,
see.
after a while, it wears you out, and by the time you get
Yeah,
you've had your lunch and you get to about 2 p.m., people start to, if they did tests on tradies and other
oh,
workers that do
interesting.
this, they'd find that their vibrations go down about that time and their work productive level goes down as well.
Do you think it's too much
People who,
adrenaline? Too much
yeah,
adrenaline?
well, it has to have an effect after a while. Too much adrenaline, too much coffee in the music, coffee
Mm.
music, and so yeah, people once people discover that what you have, it's a whole nother world, and
It's
and
interesting. At our work in our offices, there's lots of blokes here because I go on once on a Thursday. And down the far end of the office, we've got a big space. There's this loud music, sort of this different music. It's not too loud, but I'm really pleased that I'm away in another office, another lady. It's just far away from me because I can't handle it. I just can't
mm,
handle it
mm,
at all. So that's really I do believe in how it really does affect. I think it could be an adrenaline thing. Yeah,
yeah,
maybe. Interesting about the drums. When I was over in America at the Grand Canyon, I was with someone driving around the Grand Canyon, and I'd bought this tape, and it was the Indians chanting, and it was a drumming, and I'd already been doing readings and things like that part time. I was a single mom, had these 3 children, and Spirit said to me that this is my calling, this is my full-time work, this is what they want me to do. And I was thinking, don't be ridiculous. I argued with them, but I was in that space of that drumming, and it was the strongest message I've ever had from Spirit about this is what you need to do. And I argued, but they said that's what I'd be doing, and how right they were. And that was interesting that the drumming from the Indians and the chanting was incredible.
yeah, yeah. Rhythm is good.
Oh, rhythm.
Yeah, but I can't put rhythm in meditation music because
So what
rhythm,
does the rhythm do? Let's go back to the rhythm.
well, rhythm's more mathematical, and so therefore it belongs more to the logical brain.
Ah,
Although anybody who plays a rhythm, like the drums or percussion, would say, well, their worst enemy is the drum machine because it goes dut, 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 exactly on the beat every time, whereas a drummer will vary that a bit. They'll go slower
right.
here and a wee bit faster there, and it's a feeling thing, and a feeling thing is never like AI. It's never like a computer. But computer music had its place too there in the 80s for a while.
So what about the
Uh,
chanting that went with it? Like the
yeah,
drums and the.
yeah. Well, the idea is to keep it regular and keep it consistent in speed and rhythm, but it never is possible. As long as you don't lose the human aspect of it, it's
It was
fine.
just when I was listening to the Indians, though. This is Indian.
Mm,
This is a Native American Indian, and they were
yeah,
chanting, and
yeah,
spirit really connected with me.
yeah. Well, they're a very awakened race in many
Yeah,
respects.
so there was something about the beat. I think it was more the beat and the chanting.
Yeah. Well, the beat has a lot to do with our heartbeat.
Right.
It's fairly regular, although not all the time, depending on how you're feeling.
And
But
so what about the chanting side?
yeah, same. It's again, it's partly the logical brain doing one thing after another and keeping that going, keeping it driving.
And this chant goes with that?
Yeah, and the chant, of course, would come. This comes from the sound of the chant and what is being repeated. Um,
Oh,
yeah. So what
interesting.
is repeat? It's like a mantra in meditation in a way, where you repeat the mantra and over, and then you go into that deep state.
So it helps you go into an altered state.
Yeah, yeah, into
So
the
what's the difference
deeper.
between meditation music?
Well, meditation. What I said earlier was I can't put drums in meditation music.
No.
I can't put drums in, but I have on occasion put very light rhythm in there. But
Right.
so the structure of meditation music is to make it as long as the meditation. So I figured that quite a while ago that 20 minutes is a good meditation length duration. So I created music that was 20 minutes long, but it wasn't all the same right through. So I would take a person from feeling awake and alive, and then they sit down, close their eyes, and you would take them from this place where a normal space into a deeper space. So that was a piece of music that slowly got slower and slowly got more
Hmm.
opaque, if you like. And then it got into the center of the meditation from, say, around 7 minutes to 15 minutes, around that period, and it goes very still. It's kind of like a donut in a way, because once you come out of that middle piece that's very still, where you go into your deepest meditation, I take people back out slowly, so they end up to be in the same space as they started in,
Hmm.
ready
Hmm.
for the world, so they can get up out of their chair.
Hmm.
If you expected a person right in the middle of that meditation music to stand up and walk off, they'd never do it.
Hmm.
Well, for a start, they wouldn't feel like doing that.
Hmm.
So that's the way I write the meditation music. So it has a structure, but I haven't used, and if I use rhythm, it'll be in the beginning and end of the piece,
Ah.
not in the middle, because that's where people are at their most peaceful. And as soon as people hear tick, 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 tick of rhythm, then they go into their logical brain. So
Ah.
they effectively come straight out of their meditation. So what you've got to do in meditation music is make it a little bit sort of unlogical, and
Hmm.
and so you have things happening here and there. There's no real rhythm,
Hmm.
and people can just be in the music without actually, they're hearing the music, but they're not necessarily listening to it. Especially
Hmm.
in those middle sections of meditation where it's really, really peaceful.
It feels balanced.
Yeah. Well, I've stuck with that benchmark, if you like, of meditation music, a donut type shape,
Hmm.
and it seems to work quite well. My latest piece, In the Gardens, does the same thing. It has a kind of theme, and it sort of slowly over the first 6 or 7 minutes it drifts away, and then you go into this really
Hmm.
deep space where people can experience themselves at a really deep level, and then it slowly brings them out and leaves them and repeats
Interesting.
the initial theme at the end, so they feel, oh, that feels really nice. So the idea is to try and maintain those feelings in the music.
It's really interesting because I do these guided meditations when I do classes and workshops, and people often want me to do a meditation. Actually, they say, "Can I do my own recording?" The thing is that what I instinctively do is I do that. I take them in probably for about 6 minutes as unconscious. I
Yeah,
talk them through with the music going. Then I leave them for their own experience, and
yep,
then I bring them back.
yeah,
So
yep.
I just do
Very
the same
similar.
process. Pardon?
Yeah, yeah, very similar process. Yeah, and
And they
that's
sort of say,
natural.
everybody says that my voice goes quite sort of, I don't know, they like the voice, my
Yeah,
voice, because it obviously just naturally goes into that, because Spirit's sort of guiding me.
yeah, and you're in it too.
What's that?
And you're in that vibration
I
as well.
am,
So
and I'm just
your
being
voice is
guided.
gonna, yeah,
Yeah, and it's
yeah,
beautiful, actually. It really.
yeah.
So when you're creating your music, 'cause I love this, I would imagine that you've definitely been creatively, you are not creatively, spiritually guided. Do you feel that?
Yes, I do. I think there's more to me than just my physical body. I write for Substack and I do a weekly column and I sign it off as Jeffrey et al. And of course, if you don't know what et al means, for those that don't know, it means and everything and everyone.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that's an acknowledgement as I'm getting these creativity. It's not just me. I'm the pencil, if you like,
mm.
but I'm getting ideas from the universe around me, and so I can't take complete credit for what I do.
Well, it's a team, isn't it? It's a team effort.
Absolutely a team effort, and it's a team of a huge number of people,
Mm.
or a huge number of entities, if you like, not people.
Mm. I think there's a
So
man that works with you a lot. I can feel him.
yeah,
Anyway, don't know.
yeah,
Okay, so I feel it's a male guide actually works with you. I can feel
yeah.
him around you. He's on your left-hand side. Um, right, okay, so what I was going to say is what sort of how do people get hold of your music now? So it's like, because I love your music, sounds so fascinating. So they get it through Spotify, or how do they get your
They
music now?
can, yeah. Well, so my music is on all of the digital radio um, websites, digital
Mm,
stores. So Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, and all the others.
yeah.
I've just put it up on a website called Bandcamp,
Mm,
and that's more of a personal. So I handle that myself.
mm-hmm.
Bandcamp. So if you want to get to the personal side, the other thing is I do have a website, and that's Jeffrey Music. Jeffrey spelled Jeffree, music.com.
So can they get that on like Spotify or YouTube or these
Yeah,
Apple? They just Google, they
they
look for
get
that and they'll find you.
yeah. A few years ago, I had albums out, CD albums. Now
Mm,
CDs don't sell very much.
no.
Like if I sell 10 a year.
Mm,
So once that happened, I took all the tracks. I stopped promoting albums. Now
mm,
I promote just the tracks, which is
mm,
good. I love that because I wrote them one by one,
mm.
and then I put a few of them on an album together and pushed that out. And then I did the same a year or two later. But I love the idea of creating one track and putting that out there. Then I go back and create another one, and I put that out.
Lovely. That's nice, isn't it? I see where you're
Yeah.
coming from.
So each track has its own cover
Mm,
and its own explanation. And I've got 25 tracks out on social media,
wow.
25 20-minute tracks. So
Wow.
they're all fit to be meditated to, if you like. And they're
Yeah,
all out
I
there.
love the 20 minutes because I actually that's what I find. It's 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, there's some that are, well, they're all over 20 minutes. Some are 22, some are 25,
Yeah, but
some are
thereabouts.
30, but yeah, they're all longer than that. And so that's what I promote now, except for one album which came out in CD, which is called the Peace and Quiet double CD collection. Now, because we don't have the CDs, it's just the Peace and Quiet collection, and
Mm,
it's got 18 tracks, and they all run together. But all 18 tracks are about between 5 and 8 minutes long, and they're all
mm,
off the old albums. And I've put them all together, and they run into each other.
mm.
So each album is 60 minutes long, and
I
there's
had
two of
that.
them.
I
Yeah,
had that CD.
So peace, yeah, it's a favorite out there. And a lot of people use it because you can just put it on anywhere and it'll be right.
Mm,
And
yes,
it has a, it has a friendliness about it.
that's gorgeous.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
really is. It is really beautiful. So, I'm actually drawn. I can't stop looking at that beautiful painting behind you. It's just,
Yeah.
it's, I love that sort of work. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And
That sure. There's a chap called Nemish, Nemish, and he painted that. And Nemish
mm,
does painting workshops. So if you've got a little bit of creativity in you, and everybody does, then you can do one of his workshops and paint one of those for yourself. And you'll
mm-hmm,
do it out of your deepest creativity. He did that one for me, and I joined
mm,
him on that workshop as a co-teacher, and I played music on my little machine there, and he painted that while I was doing it, and we were both interacting with all the people who attended who had a easel in front of them painting away while I was
it's
playing music. So
it's
that was the
good.
one he gave to me. So
Look, I
yeah,
can see a face in it already. I can see a lady's
yeah,
face. I can see it.
yeah,
I can see, I can see a lady's face. If you go up, I don't know, if you go up there, there's a purple bit on my left,
yeah.
and there's you got this purple. We go right up above. There's a beautiful lady with dark hair. She's gorgeous. I can see her.
Up
No,
there.
yeah, that's her. Yeah, I can see her.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you
This,
see her?
yeah. This was a face. That one down in the bottom, about in the middle, about two-thirds of the way down, right there. There's a face too.
I can see that. Yeah,
With it.
definitely.
Yeah,
There'll be lots of faces in there.
yeah, yeah.
I
Well,
can
that's
see.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's super. Yeah.
That, and I can see another one on the side. I can see another face coming. Yeah. Oh wow. Because well, as soon as I can see a face in another one, I can see an Indian, Native American Indian there too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I can see someone holding a crystal ball. Wow, I could go on all day about that beautiful painting. And so the two of you, like you collaborated, and this
yeah,
is like this creative, beautiful energy
yeah,
about opening up to this right brain and allowing the spirit or the universe to come and influence you both and work together as a team. Isn't that gorgeous? It's so
yeah,
healing, like
yeah,
uplifting.
yeah. Yeah, well, we're always, and you probably as well, we're always working with spirit in terms
Yeah.
of non-physical spirit, but to do that with physical human being is good too. So we
Oh
join
no, because
together.
they're all spirit, but they're also I want to
Yeah,
look at the color because I really believe in the color as well. The
yeah,
color's amazing.
yeah. Colours are good. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's
lovely.
yeah, that's incredible actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask. So we've talked about this actually. So why do you think it's really important for us when we're living a spiritual life to keep your vibration up? I
Um,
know the answer, but if you can tell us
yeah.
your thoughts on that.
My view on it. Yeah. Um, I don't know. It's become automatic now. What I am becoming consciously aware of is that after spending so much time in my spiritual self, I realize how close the spiritual self is to the human self, and and that a lot of people don't believe that. They think that to be spiritual is like I've got to be someone totally different. And I'm going to be if I go and get too religious or too spiritual, I'm going to be really different and I won't be able to do my life anymore. And that's not true. Spirituality is right there next to the human in terms of experience, and if you have it, it makes your human life really, really exciting and really better because you understand the process of life a lot more. You understand, and
Right.
and and people tend to not blame each other when they're spiritual. They tend to be
Mm,
grateful for life,
mm,
all
mm,
these things are important, really important things. And so that's my take on it. So I've always kept myself a little bit ordinary. And when I say that, I don't mean I put that on. I've just found that because sometimes I do get off center, I do get off balance, and I go too far this way or that way. But I end up being back in the middle again in balance. And so I don't want to make spiritual for people around me. I don't want to make spirituality too highfalutin.
mm,
I want them to know that it's really we are spiritual beings. We're physical and we're non-physical. We're
Mm.
energetic. We are
Mm.
part of source. And this is all the rhetoric that I use on my column. But and when you feel that, it's easier to feel fulfilled in your life. It's
Yeah,
easier
because you
to
work
do
you
what
work
makes you happy.
together. You work together.
Yeah,
I did a podcast about why you don't have to be perfect to be spiritual.
yeah, absolutely.
Because I think, we're all imperfect.
Yeah,
And I think sometimes people are a bit scared of being spiritual because they think, I've got to be this, like you say, this spiritual thing that I can't
yeah.
live my life. And it doesn't work like that. I
No,
know that.
it doesn't. And spiritual people are very organic people. They're
Yeah.
very natural people. They connect with nature because nature is that's what we're connected to as humans.
Yeah.
And it's like where spirit come into human, or human go into spirit. It's very natural, and I think we should never lose sight of being connected to nature.
Mm.
We don't need to stop what we're doing because we're making the earth get hotter or making the sea levels rise. That's not what it's about. I don't want to hurt nature because I love nature. That's it. There doesn't have to be some other reason. I don't want to leave an imprint in nature. I want it to be natural. And I like being it.
Isn't it called respect?
Yeah, it's called respect. Absolutely. Yeah. And I love being there. And right here, I live next to a mountain. Our property here borders on a mountain out at Matakana. It's the big one called Tamahanga. And it's just beautiful here. We get our water off that mountain.
Wow.
It's peaceful, and we've got 50 animals on the property. Not
Wow.
and they're not for commercial use. They're pets. They're friends.
Mm. Oh,
And animals are people too. That's what I say,
yeah, the
because
souls. So
you
that
communicate with them.
is it saying about the peaceful mountains, or there's some saying about the peace in the mountains?
Yeah.
I really felt it when I went up Mount Ruapehu on the walk there, and I just thought
Mm.
that it hit me
Yeah.
like a pitch.
Yeah. I mean, being up in nature, being on Ruapehu, um, uh, incredible. It's a wonderful experience, and I just love being in nature, and there's a real connection there for me. It's part of who I am.
I
Yeah.
remember I went up I did this walk with John,
Yep.
and I just remember I think it was something about the peaceful of the mountains or something, peaceful mountain.
Mm.
I've heard this saying before, and I really felt it. It was
Mm.
like, it's so calming.
Yep.
It's so calming.
Yeah.
So, the other thing I was going to ask you, because this is called, also actually, before I ask you this question, so are you still taking meditation now? Used to take meditation classes? Are you still doing that?
Not now, no. What I ended up doing, and that was in the interest of creating more time to be in my creativity a lot more. I created the course well, initially on a CD, but it's now a digital download. You can download a technique of meditating, which is the one I taught many years ago for 4 or 5 years around
Hmm.
Auckland. It's so you can just download it and learn to meditate.
Oh, wonderful.
Teach yourself to
So how do
meditate.
people, where's that? It's a wonderful resource.
Yeah,
I get a lot of people asking me about that. A lot
yeah.
of people saying, someone asked me recently, and yeah, and I said, I don't know where to go to. So how can they find that? Because
It's on my website on jeffreymusic.com.
I think that's so important. And
Yeah.
there's a cost in that?
Yeah, there is a cost, but I'm always
Yeah,
negotiable. So I just say to people, it's $75 for and it's 3 30 minutes.
I think it's
Uh,
worth it. It's an
yeah.
investment
Oh,
because
yeah.
they've got that for the rest of their life. It's an
Yeah.
investment in themselves.
Well, initially, people might be at the end of their tether by the time they get to saying, "Oh, I think I need to meditate," and at that point, they may not. They may be withheld in terms of wanting to pay. They may feel like they deserve to have something for nothing,
So
and I
so
don't
that's
have
not.
a problem with that. I
Yeah.
think it's fine.
Oh,
And we can work that out.
okay. That's
I
very
would
very
say, look,
kind.
I'd give them the
Yeah.
download and
Oh,
say, well,
that's
look,
kind.
you
Mm.
see what you get out of it. And I've done that a lot.
That's very
See,
kind.
and I've
It's
had
very
a lot
kind
of
of you.
donations. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind. What I was going to ask you, so for people that want to meditate, learn to meditate, so is it spiritual meditation or is it just meditation for your mind?
Well, for most people, we don't want to. I won't get into the spiritual side too early. That happens naturally anyway. So I'll
Right.
just. So really, it's a practice of being still, of knowing a few little things around how to meditate. There's a few little things to be aware of, and of course, the music is there as well on that digital download. So they'll sit down with it, and the music will start, and
So
then my voice will
and
go
you
do this, do
teach them
that.
about like keeping their
Yeah.
mind still and the
Yeah,
breathing
yeah,
and
yep. And then once, when they feel like it, they can not, they don't need to use that. They can just go to the music and have the music play, and they know what to do. So yeah, that's how I approach it.
so it's just about them stilling their mind,
Yeah,
calming down, getting into a peaceful state. So any Joe blogs who's watching this, they don't have to be spiritual. If you're
no,
just somebody that wants calmness and I could honestly, anybody watching this, please watch this, how to meditate or listen to your music because I just know it's so tranquil,
mm,
and you'll be missing out if you don't, because you really
yeah,
do take them in. I can honestly mean it. So I think that is it's a gift to the
mm,
world. Actually, I think that's because I would listen to her like Gail. I did a podcast with her about color, and Gail Pickles. I don't know if you've heard of her, and she
yep,
said this. You know, Gail, yeah,
mm,
I've done a podcast with her. She's lovely. And she's like, there's always hope, is what I'm hearing. I want to say there's always hope. And the one thing that she said that healed people heal people.
yeah.
And
Oh,
so
right, yeah, yeah.
healed
True.
people heal.
Sorry, I missed
So
that.
what I'd like to say is that with your what you're offering other people is also is not just giving it's a healing thing, isn't it? Because that
Mm,
healing your mind and your brain and your emotional being just comes because it all interacted. It heals every part of you, doesn't it?
yeah, and also it gives you the power um, to work with yourself. So it's not about me doing something for you. It's about
Mm.
you doing something for you. And I'm just going to give you the technique so you can get that going.
Do you know
And
what's
once,
interesting?
yeah,
What's interesting because when you were, I heard Spirit came in before, and when you're saying that they go through this and they learn how to meditate, and then they've got your music, I heard someone coming in very strongly and say, and that's their responsibility.
yeah,
So you hand it
mm,
over to them. So it's like the
yeah,
Good Samaritan.
yeah,
You're helping them on their way, and then it's over
yeah.
to them. It's
Well, there's too many things in life that do it for you. And what that does is it disempowers people.
right.
People have this great ability. This is my latest thing: is that the immune system is really about your will to live, and your enjoyment in life. And if you lose that enjoyment, you'll get sick. And
Right.
and so maintaining your immune system is about being happy and being fulfilled, and you get that in meditation. And once you get there, you're self healing yourself. When you're meditating, you're self healing. You're doing that yourself. And you know, we survived for hundreds of thousands of years as humans, long before we needed doctors. And I don't have a thing going with doctors. I think they do, at some levels, they do a wonderful job. But people today are too used to just running off to the doctor for the slightest thing that's going on, when as they just leave it a bit and think about why they're feeling this way, they'll find
Mm.
something in their life that is causing this.
Mm.
But if they meditate, they find that easier because they've now become more internal as well as external beings. They're becoming internal, so they know what's going on for them. So they can feel themselves going this way or that way, causing an illness or some sort of uneasiness, and they'll do something, and they can do something about it themselves. They
Yeah,
have
they
this
say that.
little inner
Mm.
teacher.
Ah, amazing. That's like disease. I call it dis-ease, don't they?
Disease, yeah,
I,
yeah,
I agree with you. Something else you said that I just love what you said, and it was something, it was a reel that I watched for one of these, I think William J. Shetty, I think, but about how parents that do too much for children.
yeah,
So what the parents are getting out of it, they're getting something out of it for themselves because it makes the parent feel really good
mm,
because I'll do this for you, but it's actually disempowering and it's taken away from the child.
mm. And I think a lot of parents don't see themselves do that. They think their mentality is saying no, that the child needs to know this. So the intention is good, but the
Oh, the
execution,
intention's really good. It comes
yeah,
from a place of love. Yeah.
but the execution needs thinking about. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, we do tend to, parents do at times tend to interfere in their children's lives when actually this is a whole separate being from the parent.
Yeah.
It's their life. After a while, once they get old enough, it's their life, and parents need to be good at letting them go. But
Yeah.
you know,
It's about empowering them. But and you say in life in general, not just parents, it's like in general, like you say, the world is too much done for us rather than us doing it for
yeah,
ourselves.
and it's disempowering. And children these days, this new generation, want to do it themselves because they've just had enough of that. And I say this, and I don't mean this in a negative way. I think children and growing children need to have that. They need to be set free and find out for themselves. You know,
Mm,
when I was young in the 50s, I could run up the road to the gardens and I was on my own. And I was
mm,
4 or 5 years old. Uh, you know, there wasn't a problem with that. All the neighbours knew who I
mm,
was, and they would say, "Oh, Jeffrey, off to the
mm,
gardens, are you?" And
mm,
I'll
mm,
meet my cousins, and
mm.
you know, I could do that, and I could run and jump, and I was right next to falling off the bridge, but I didn't worry. But I didn't fall off the bridge. Whereas today, like, oh, don't do that, don't do this. No,
I
get
know.
away from that. That's dangerous. Rah rah rah. Let children be children.
So it's fear-based. So, but yeah, but not just children, like I was saying, adults, everything, like you say, it's an instant world. I mean, about
Yeah,
I
there's
think
that.
it's really important, this self-empowerment, which I'm all about, like self-empowerment and knowledge. Yeah, self-empowerment and doing it for yourself and that's the most empowering thing. And this is where meditation can help.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you now, because it's a spiritual truth podcast, we all have spiritual truths. So what is your spiritual truth or truths? One of them.
Yeah, truth. Or did you say truce?
Truths. Sorry, truths.
Yeah, yeah,
A
yeah, that's all
spiritual
right.
truth or
Yeah.
truths. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a word that's been battered around quite a lot today in today's world. Truth this and truth that.
Yeah.
Um, what I feel strongly about, and you know, I will just say, you know, you're not just a human being; you're a spiritual being,
Hmm.
and connect with that. Connect with that. That's my spiritual truth. Get connected with your spiritual side. And
Hmm.
it doesn't take anything away from being a human being.
No, it
In fact, you know,
doesn't.
I don't consider myself always just a spiritual being. I'm
Hmm.
kind of a humanitarian. I love people. I love the human world. It's a beautiful experience. Look at this around us.
I know it's
And,
beautiful.
and you know, where it's a human world. So, you know, as a spiritual being, when you join spiritual being and human being together, you get humanitarian. People who
Yeah,
cares,
I love that.
people who are in service to other people, people who care for people without interfering in their lives, people who can see what to do to help another person without pushing them to do it. You know?
Well, there's a really good saying, and it's the rescuers always get hurt
Yep. Yeah, they
because
do.
rescuers are disempowering somebody,
Yeah,
and
and they
when
don't
rescue people,
realise. Yeah,
yeah,
they don't.
they've got good intention. A rescuer's always
Yeah,
got good intention, but also the rescuers get something out of it. It empowers them, but it takes away
yeah,
from the other person, and the other person turns into and is a victim, and they become the persecutor. It's that triangle, and the healthy triangle is I need some support, and the Good Samaritan offers support, and rather than being abusive or persecutor, you're assertive. So it's a really is a healthy triangle or unhealthy, and I teach people that a lot. And I think that what you're talking about is like it's okay to be the Good Samaritan, and what you're doing it will give people the fishing line, not the fish. So
yeah,
what you're doing with your meditation and your teaching on your
yes,
website is that you're giving them
yeah,
the tools and then
yeah.
you're saying, okay, you've got it, now go and do it.
Yeah, there's one other aspect to
Yeah.
that, which is that to sell good products, people go to telling other people that they need it. You have a problem, so you need this product. And in telling people they have problems, you disempower them, you diminish them. And so I think that advertising stance, that advertising behaviour has to stop. Somehow we have to dismantle it,
Mm,
because people need to feel like they're choosing this or that. So a
mm.
lot of, whereas some products, they just tell you how bad you are.
Oh, that's
And then at the end of that, they say,
it's a
it's a
selling
selling.
technique.
Yeah. And it's not nice. It's just not nice because the way you're selling is to make people feel bad.
Yeah. It
And
is
that's
the
the
world,
wrong.
unfortunately. I guess it comes down to personal responsibility, doesn't it? And knows
Well,
a complete sentence.
yeah, and I think when people meditate, they see that sort of thing and they don't do it anymore. They don't respond to being told that.
Yeah, they don't.
They'll look for products that where the person says, "I've tried this and it made me feel great. You should
Yeah,
try
not
it."
necessarily.
Yeah,
It depends on the
yeah,
individual. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're all
Um,
different.
I felt I did feel your mum around you earlier,
Hmm.
but then your sister's passed recently.
Yep.
I got number 34. I don't know why 34 is important. That's the number I picked, but it's also a number of seven. So to me, seven is very much a sensitive person, a very caring person, a private person, a person that doesn't need to be out there, if that makes sense. A very
Yeah,
humble person. And I feel that's your sister.
yeah.
And
Oh,
I'd say,
absolutely.
and
Yeah,
now and humble, and I feel that she's into nature and she liked your conversation. So I think you're very close to her.
yeah. Jean was always really supportive, and she was 81, and
Oh,
she had a Facebook account, and she knew how to work it.
so she must have been the oldest, was she?
No, second oldest.
Second, she's only the old, but
But
good sister.
she was a work behind the scenes girl. She did so much and she achieved so much behind the
Mm.
scenes.
She loved
Um,
books too. She loved books.
yeah, I don't know. I never saw that side of her, but
She loved. I don't think she liked to learn. She liked to learn.
oh, absolutely, she was a learner. She was quite
Yeah.
proactive in scouting New Zealand and got some
Oh
very high
wow.
awards. And she was an extraordinary, what would you call it, a dressmaker.
Oh
And
wow.
she had a business where she could make anything. You tell her,
Mm.
you say what you
So
want,
creative.
she'll knock it up
Mm.
for you.
Which is like your mum, wasn't she?
Well, my mother didn't have. You said it earlier. My mother didn't have a great life.
No, she
She
didn't.
born in one war and another war when she was at her prime. But she had a difficult life, as did a
Yeah.
lot of them back there. I think my mother
Your
was
mum ran out of
very
gas,
pre.
she said. She ran out of
Yeah,
gas. It just got exhausted. I think she just ran out of
yeah.
gas. It got too much.
Yeah, well, she had a beautiful side which she revealed every so often, which and she sang, and she had
Oh
absolutely
wow.
beautiful voice. And I remember as a young child, this is before I went to the gardens, I'd just lie there and listen to her singing while she was doing
Oh,
the washing, and in the old days, and it was just so healing.
oh
Uh, so,
wow.
uh, and I wrote a song for her and released it. It was like a pop song and it was the last thing I did in my band, in my pop music
Mm.
career, and it was called Dear Jeannie, and it got to number 12.
I said the same name as your sister.
Yeah, yeah, and it did well. Yeah, it
Oh
did really
wow.
well.
Oh wow. So it's called Dear Jenny, so people can listen to that, can they?
Yeah, you can go onto my YouTube site; it's there.
Oh, dear Jenny, I'd love. I'd listen to it. So,
Yeah.
and I don't know if your sister had any problems with her head because my head's feeling really sore.
Mm.
I don't know. My head feels really sore.
Jean kind of wore herself out.
Yeah,
I think in the end, she had a lot of mini strokes,
right. I get on my right hand side.
and
It
so
goes,
it may
oh,
be that
oh. I
picking it
just
up.
felt it then. Yeah, I just felt
Yeah,
really sore, and she got tired. Yeah. So she's
yeah.
got for you. I got a bit nervous near the end as well. So
Mm,
for you, even though you are healing, it's got to go about healing in here, and she's got. It's time for you to heal.
mm,
We watch you suffer. We know what you feel.
yeah.
Try not to get angry. You don't seem like an angry person. Try not to get angry about tasks not done.
Mm.
Do not worry, instead have fun.
Absolutely. I like that.
Time for patience.
Mhm.
Rest is what you need. Relax, meditate, or even read.
Mm.
And then I heard
Did
you'll be fine. And then I heard we send you relief. We want you to heal. Know our love is truly real. Now, the funny thing is, our love is truly real. And I'm going really tingly because I didn't realize felt your mum and then your sister. So,
mm.
know our love. We send you relief. We want you to heal. Know your love is truly, our love is truly real. I think
Mm.
it's the only card that says we.
Mm.
Now,
Oh,
isn't that
yeah,
interesting? And Andre and I
yeah,
were talking about the word we before I came onto the podcast. So
yeah.
that's so
I would imagine because she passed recently, that
right.
the two of them would be together. I would think. Yeah,
Yeah. And they got along really well too.
yeah,
A lot of
yeah,
history, a lot of
yeah,
history. So,
yeah.
thank you so much for spending this time with me.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, it's been great.
And also, yeah, great. But just one thing I didn't ask you was what plans have you got for the future?
Um, well, I tried to get into the American market last year, and it kind of went quite well. I got a
Hmm.
front cover in the News Wire magazine and an article inside, a major article in it. So I'm out there. It's just going to take, like you just said, it's going to take a little while, and I need to have a little bit of patience. But I'd like my music to go where I can't go, and that's everywhere else. And I like it here. So the internet is another one of those synchronistic things, like my little keyboard just arrives at the right time, and I'd like to see some international recognition for my music. That would be nice. I think it heals, and I'm quite happy to sit behind it and tell people about how I do it and
We got a lot
what
to
it does.
offer,
Yeah,
and yeah, and
yeah.
intentions there.
But I'm
And
just an ordinary person, I'm just an ordinary guy who, has had an ordinary life. Most of it I've been knocking in. I've been a carpenter and a joiner and also while I've been promoting the music. It hasn't
and
been
a
easy.
dad, and a
And a dad,
dad.
oh, absolutely, yeah. A dad of four and
Wow.
a granddad of four. So, and that
Oh,
continues. So,
and you've got a lot to teach them as well.
yeah, and a lot to learn from them as
Yeah,
well.
so it's mainly you're going to be based in Auckland
Yep,
and the country,
yep,
and you also basically people get hold of you through the internet now. That's your main point of contact through your website, through the
yeah,
internet, and basically you've given them the tools, and you
yep,
keep on creating music, and it's up for them to discover it
yep.
and move with it.
Yeah, I think there's room for peace in the world now. I think um, uh, we're going to be needing a lot more peace as we go forward because
Oh, well,
peace
you're
help
helping that. You're helping
peace.
that,
That's right.
Jeffrey.
Yeah,
You really
peace
are.
helps us make good decisions.
Yeah. So one more
And
time, what's your website again, just so we've got that.
Jeffrey Music, all one word.com.
Thank you so much. All right.
Yeah,
So we'll connect again. Thank
yeah.
you.
Thanks, Kerry-Marie. It's been lovely
Thank
to
you.
spend time with you.